The scum. Fave TV soap is back. I'm a celeb. No, not really. Megan blooms. Oh, she's wearing a strap-on fake bump. Victory for victims as black cab rapist is refused parole. Now throw away the key. Now that's not very nice, is it? Is that the sort of thing you'll be saying when we've got the MPs and the royals locked up? Well, to be fair, yeah, probably here it is. The Times. Unionists fire warning shot at May by voting against budget. Boots travel insurers faces investigation over deaths. Customers denied emergency flights home. Worst year in history puts our problems in the shade. I'm not sure what the picture is. An erotic, some despicable. Mirror. Judge Anna's secret heartache. Universal credit hell is forcing women to sell sex. Government getting exactly what they wanted then, aren't they? Footy legend shot. Gaza on sex assault charge. Star denies attacking woman on train. Express. Madders, how can only 2 patrol boats protect Britain? Treasonous government. Jungle, Holly, what a scream. You know, I've noticed in the paper there, it seems to be more and more TV shows rather than any actual news. Police chief blasts our broken society. Witnesses refuse to help female officer attacked by Kung Fu Yob. Well, you see, that's because of the amount of times they've called for your assistance and you've not given it. The amount of times they've wanted you to protect them from somebody trying to break into the house and you've actually assisted it. So don't be shocked or surprised that the public will no longer assist you. The Guardian. Success can corrupt you. William Defoe. Could you retire at 40? Meet the extreme savers. Well, you shouldn't need to be extreme savers to retire at 40. That should be the retirement age, if you wanted to. Not everyone will. Some will want to carry on working, but that will then make room for others that want to work, that carry on more jobs for everyone. Plot to oust May risks appalling chaos in UK. Tory rebels warn. Yeah. Chaos. Oh no, it's going to be chaos. Then what we can do? Well, we'll have our new world order out of the chaos. Airbnb pulls all rentals in West Bank settlements. Will Foster's tulip be the new gherkin? War boys must stay in jail. Parole board rules. BBC defends decision to save penguins. Daily Fail. You'll never guess their age, so have these two found the secret of eternal youth? Police, we may have to let violent thugs go. Oh really? Holly makes Jungle the TV hit of the year. Of course she does, so it's TV again. Tell lie, graph. The win I placed was Beatrice joins the Euro Ra set. Oh, it's Parasites. Camilla Tominey growing up with an alcoholic mother. Brexiteers plotters failed to light the fuse. May faces down. Eurosceptics as rehabs fall short of 48 letter for no confidence vote. Duchess stars at the Royal Variety with the fake bump. Britain pushes for truce in Yemen war. Nissan chairman held over fraud claims. BBC penguin crew right to save birds. Police could be told to let violent suspects go. By a criminal government by design. I. Can he make male stripping work? P.S. The safe word is unicorn. Scientists suggest possible link between autism and pollution. More research needed. Brexit limbo may last for another 4 years. I told you we weren't leaving ever. Transition period with Brussels could remain in place until 2022, 6 years after referendum vote. Prospect of further delay enrages Tory Brexiteers as they seek to topple PM and her deal with EU. May refuses to rule out further extension during conclude trade talks. Gareth Thomas shows the power of restorative justice. Brian Cox World Tour coming to a city near you. There's a moron. Because I said so. Children want parents to listen to their opinions before making decisions. The other John Lewis's Christmas message. Star. Shrek dwarf 6 foot tall. Emily's battle of the shower and snakes. Gaza sex attack rap. Ex-England footy star. I've done nothing wrong. Although he phrased it slightly differently. Anything but independent. Iran warning, hardliners put US on course for war with Tehran. We knew it was coming. We need the truth about Brexonomics. No, repeal the 72 Act. We're out. I exited Britain to escape this chaos. How we can back peace in Yemen. The new Wembley finally finds its voice. Now May faces fight with Europe to back her deal. Spain demands changes to agreement as crucial summit looms. Yeah. Metro. Brexit. Now PM means business. No, she doesn't. Don't lie. Gaza is charged with sex assault. England legend denies incident with woman on train. And Parasite. Bump alert. Financial Times. Nissan bid to oust Goshen seals downfall of its former saviour. Long-serving boss arrested. Allegations of misleading investors. Questions over salary. City losers role at heart of bond trade as business moves to Milan before Brexit. TSB picks crushable to clean up with system flaw. As you can see, go on, do it. You know you'd make the whole country happier. Retired US Colonel. Israel is dragging the United States into World War III. Israel is in the process of plunging America into a war with Iran that could destroy what's left of the Middle East and ignite a third world war. Colonel Lawrence Wilkinson, former Chief of Staff to Secretary of State Colin Powell, warned in Washington approximately a week ago. Wilkinson is a retired Army colonel who now teaches at Washington area universities, didn't hold back in his critique of where the status quo is leading the United States via its client state Israel. Brussels piles misery on May. EU forces fishing concessions from UK in trade declaration. Brexit. Parliament betrayed the fishing industry, says Chief. Parliament has betrayed us all. A group of EU nations have compiled further misery on the Prime Minister to ensure Britain can't gain the upper hand on Brussels when diverging from the bloc's laws and regulations, which is never going to happen. There's evidence here. No, you will allow all the boats in your fishings, even though they've got seas of their own. No, you'll allow them in. Simple, plain. There is no exit from Brexit. It's all a scam. It's been a lie all along. Treason and sedition from Parliament. Mum paid just £6 on universal credit, handed leaflet on how to budget. Well, how about we hand a leaflet on how to budget to Parliament, because they haven't got a clue, or the City Council, or the County Council. Neither have got a clue on how to budget. They just waste money hand over fist because they can. That's why. A mum who was paid just £6 of universal credit was handed a leaflet on how to budget, her daughter has said. Vonnie Leclerc of Edinburgh shared a heartbreaking story of her mother's apparent experience with the controversial universal credit scheme. Scam, more like. How long are we going to put up with this shit? Fake psychiatrist case puts thousands of doctors under scrutiny. Records of 3,000 medics to be reviewed after it emerged that con woman practiced for 22 years on false papers. No, open your borders, let more in, because, you know, that's what you want, isn't it? Tories invited paedophile to boat party with underage guests after he was sentenced. A paedophile was spotted at a boat party with underage guests after he was invited by a think tank supported by several high-profile Conservative MPs. Let's call it how it is. Several high-powered Conservative paedophiles. The evidence is there. We all know it. So it's time we stormed that Parliament, dragged them out and made them pay for their crimes. We could run out of Mars bars within 2 weeks if we leave the EU without a deal, reports claim. What an absolute utter load of shit. Iconic Mars chocolate bar could disappear from British supermarket shelves within 2 weeks if the UK crashes out of the EU without a deal, reports. What a load of utter bullshit. Now, UK needs migration because Britons are so bloody stupid, says Peer, who wrote Article 50 of the Lisbon Treaty. That's the bloke that's committed, another one that's committed treason. A Europhile, sounds an awful lot like paedophile, doesn't it? Peer has provoked outrage after he claimed Britain needs intelligent migrants to come to the UK because native Britons are so bloody stupid. You're so bloody stupid because he says so. Lord Kerr of Kinlochard is the peer responsible for writing Article 50. And remember, he says that you're stupid. I suppose to a degree the public are, because they've let the paedophiles up there get away with so much for so long. Seize the moment. MPs demand House of Lords urgently axe 200 peers. The House of Lords has been told by a Conservative committee of MPs it must urgently axe 200 peers in a move that would see the overall number plummet by a quarter. Oh dear, so that'd be 200 less on their £3,300 a day for doing nothing. Certainly not stopping the government from getting away with out of control, are they? Hospital workers arrested on suspicion of poisoning patients amid neglect allegations. A healthcare professional has been arrested on suspicion of poisoning patients at Blackpool Victoria Hospital. More great news for the NHS. Spain threatens to reject Brexit deal over Gibraltar as EU infighting erupts. Oh no, this is the EU going to collapse. Oh, that'll be such a great day for the humanity. 60% of Italians think EU is bad for Italy. Hey, 100% of me knows it is, and well, about 80% of the British know it is. It's just our dumb dimwits that think it's not, that haven't done the research, basically. Central banks have officially pulled the plug on the markets. Last week, the markets rallied on hope of a potential trade deal between the US and China, and the fact it was options expiration week. So basically, it sounds like they're getting ready for the financial crash. Head teachers at Cheltenham Secondary School joined by police on visits to parents whose children have missed classes. However, have you been burgled, raped, had anything stolen? We haven't got any police for that. Oh, no. But we've got police for this. Oh, yeah. No problem. Yeah, we've got as many as we need for this. Parent says she was appalled to discover that a Gloucester school is involving the police when dealing with pupils' poor attendance. It's a dictatorship in the schools. It's there in your face if we only have eyes to look. Brexit deal. EU says it will retain all control under Theresa May's agreement. Leaked note shows. Treason, May. This is treason and sedition. Brussels will retain all the control over swathes of British regulations under the Brexit deal stuck by Theresa May, EU negotiators have told member states. A leaked diplomatic note from a meeting between Commission officials and ambassador for the EU's 27 countries reveals how Brussels views the level playing field rules signed up by the Prime Minister. Treason and sedition. We ain't leaving, ever, unless we take back our country, lock these traitorous bastards in Parliament up. Breaking. Policewoman kicked dog owner out of station and locked door, leaving him to freeze to death. A policewoman kicked a dog owner out of the station and locked door, leaving him to freeze to death outside while she watched a DVD on duty. PC Bhupinder Kalsi threw Purcell's Melgadies out of the street after asking him to leave Uxbridge police station for smoking in the early hours, a disciplinary hearing was told. Mr. Melgadies, who suffered from the skin disease cellulitis, was found dead outside the nick hours later after being locked out in the cold, the panel heard. The dog owner, who had come from hospital, visited the West London police station to collect his pet, which had been put in kennel while he was treated, but officers refused him access to his beloved pet. After being thrown out, he stayed outside to wait for Django, a Jack Russell Terrier who friends said was everything to him. About 5:30 a.m. the Greek national was found unresponsive. He was taken to hospital but was pronounced dead at 6:45 on the morning of March 5th, 2016. Yeah, we need more immigrants in the police force because this is what they do. Man with one leg is homeless and sleeping in Plymouth car park. Tony Duffy, who lost a leg to diabetes, says he was thrown out of her hotel and council have not rehoused him since. In July, Plymouth Live reported on how 60-year-old Tony Duffy was being shunted from hotel to hotel by Plymouth City Council as they tried to find him a permanent home. The loss of Tony's leg resulted in him needing to use a motorised wheelchair to get around, meaning he was unable to live in a private rented property he was in before his lengthy stint at Derriford Hospital. Councils. We've got to get rid of them. UN condemns UK government's mean-spirited and callous approach to poorest in damning report. I've spoken with people who depend on food banks and charities for their next meal, who have sold sex for money or shelter. Children who are growing up in poverty, unsure of their future, says UN Special Rapporteur. Well, it's nothing we didn't know, that the government are trying to depopulate all the old, the young, the poor, middle, any that they can. This is a crime against humanity, and the government and the politicians need to be held to account for this. Leaks reveal Amber Rudd's involvement in Bahamas offshore firms. UK Home Secretary named as having been director of 2 Bahamas firms, while a co-director of another company was jailed over a false statement. So that's where she should be, in prison. Amber Rudd's business career has come under scrutiny following a Guardian investigation that reveals her involvement with 2 companies in an offshore tax haven, and another where her co-director was jailed for fraud. What do you expect? New DWP boss Amber Rudd dismisses extraordinary political UN poverty report. Oh yeah, it's just not real. We haven't got people starving to death or freezing to death. Oh wait, we have. UN report said the Tory government are in a state of denial over the devastating impact of social security on its social security. Amber Rudd has angrily dismissed the damning finding, a UN report of extreme poverty in the UK, branding the report as extraordinary, political and wholly inappropriate, just minutes into her first appearance in the Commons as the new Work and Pension Secretary. Time for her to go again, but she'd be back because these Satanists stick together, as you'll see right now. Chelsea Clinton says Satanism is a religion that deserves respect. Well, that tells you what she is. That tells you what the Clintons are. That tells you what the Obamas are. What more do you need to know? That tells you what the government are. Time to hang every Satanist. Hemp ethanol is about 5 times cheaper than gasoline. According to biofuel expert Tim Castleman, hemp ethanol could be produced at 1.37 per gallon, plus the cost of the feedstock and technological improvements and tax credits, reducing the price another $1 or so per gallon. Cracking the nut, biosphering luches to renewable product energy. So that could be the end to oil. UN warns of damage to the fabric of British society as the state turns on its people. There you go. The government is turning on the us. Time we got rid of the government. DVLA is set to make 16.2 million this year, selling motorist details to private parking firms, dishing out fines. The DVLA is set to receive a request for 6.4 million drivers info from private parking firms this financial year. That's up from 14.2 million a year previously. Proof of the increased threat of fines for motorists. See, another attack at the motorist. DVLA sells drivers' records to private parking enforcement firms for £2.50 each. This is money is campaigning to stop the private parking sharks. This is right. Needs stopping. The DVLA needs shutting down. They shouldn't be making a profit off anyone. We pay the same council tax for a 1-bedroom bungalow as our neighbours do for a 3-bedroom house, but we can't get the ban changed. Council tax, another corrupt and not lawful robbery. Driving theory test now features 23 new CGI scenarios where UK's learners have to spot hazards during adverse weather, including snow and fog. New hazard perception tests introduced to the car theory test on 1st November. Stats from 2017 show there were 205 fatalities on roads during adverse weather. There are 23 different scenarios, including snow, rain, gusty winds and low sun. The same CGI assessment will be introduced for motorcyclists in December and large goods vehicles and passenger carrying vehicle drivers in 2019. And yet again a further attack on drivers or who are travelling. Now motorists will get a 10-minute grace period in private car parks after they complain of a £100 charge for leaving shortly after entering full sites. Revolutionary scenes in France as Macron is losing control. There are lots of happenings in France at the moment. President Macron, already in the dumpster of approval ratings in what appears to be an attempt to sink yet lower, has imposed a tax hike on already rising diesel prices in France. At least the French are standing up. We should be doing it too. Breaking. Estonia is the 5th EU nation leaving the EU Migration Pact. Prime Minister. Angry after Hungary, Austria, the Czech Republic and Bulgaria, Estonia has also left the UN Migration Pact. But we're still in it because our government are a bunch of treasonous, corrupt scum.
Dennis Healy. World events do not occur by accident. They are made to happen, whether it is to do with national issues or commerce, and most of them are staged and managed by those who hold the purse strings.